Hello and welcome back to Beyond the Veil. What is my issue today, right? That would have to be with quackademics or academics or whatever you want to call them. These shills that want to pretend that they know something that you don't. I mean, so far the best I can figure, the oldest books that you can get a hold of are maybe 1900s, maybe 16 if you're lucky. But somehow, in all the information they have this one molecule, this one little carbon-14. They knew what it looked like 1,000 years ago. How the fuck did they know? What the fuck are they basing it off of? I'm an individual who will not call a rose by any other name. In other words, if it's a piece of shit, if it looks like shit and it smells like shit, I'm gonna call it shit. You're telling me about this carbon-14 molecule and how this shit, you knew what it looked like 1,000 years ago. Where the fuck did you get that book? Where is that book as your proof? Where is that proof that you have to be a scientist? I mean, other than that, you're pulling shit out of your fucking ass. And it's bullshit. It's not true science. It's shit you're pulling out of your ass for a paycheck. Carbon-14. How the fuck do they know what it looked like 1,000 years ago if you don't have even a book that is that old to start with? Where the fuck are they getting this shit from? The only place I can tell that they're getting this from is pulling it out of their ass. And that's what they do. I mean, if they can send to the same lab two items from the same thing, like, I don't know, a living snail, and they cut part of the shell up and they send it, and they get 150,000 years on it. Where the fuck are they getting this information from? Other than pulling it out of their ass and trying to pretend that they're smart people and not pieces of shit. In the quackademic study of a carbon-14 molecule, they know what it looked like 1,000 years ago. How fucking old are these people? I mean, that's something I'd expect from an 8-year-old child. These people aren't smart. These are shitheads. These are con artists. They are nothing more than filled with shit. And you're buying it. Anyone tell you that they know what the world looks like 1,000 years ago has problems. Anyone tell you that the world is older than a few hundred years has problems, because he ain't that fucking old. He's never met the million-year-old man, because the million-year-old man is something some asshole pulled out of his ass, like Carl Sagan. Millions upon millions upon millions, blah 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 blah. And that's what type of idiot he was. You want to talk about space? Well, if you believe in this shit that they're trying to do with devolution, where this one big bang or this tornado through a junkyard came through and whipped it around and whipped it around and somehow came out with a working 747, everything perfect, nothing wrong with it. And if you're into that psychology with this big bang shit, there ain't no talking to you. You're not sane, you're insane. Because you think that a tornado can go through a junkyard and put together this 747 shit. That's fucking insanity. The Big Bang was thought up by a priest sitting on his ass for a religion. It is a religion of a number god. So that You don't have to believe in a real God. No, you believe in your number God. The same number God whose dick measured from the world at your feet to the sun in the sky, and the world at your feet to the moon in the sky, and the world at your feet to any of the fucking lights in the sky. I mean, your number God did this. With Einstein, it was time and space. I mean, if it's something you wiped your ass with the time and space shit, don't get that shit near me. Don't get that shit near me. I don't want a numbers God fucking me in the ass saying, oh my God, you have to trust numbers. Numbers never lie. Numbers were found. Numbers were discovered. No, they weren't. They were created by some fuckwad who said numbers can't lie in order to sell his product. And I tell you, oh, numbers can't lie. Numbers can't lie. And that's a fucking religion. That is a religion. That's not proof. They can't prove the distance between here and the moon. They can't prove the distance from here to the sun. I move my hand right in front of my nose, just a few inches away, and it goes at a certain speed. I then put my hand at arm's length, and move it at that same speed. And you know what? It goes by slower. Well, let's see. The sun and moon go in the sky. The sun takes 24 hours from full sun to full sun, yet 720 hours from full moon to full moon. If you're gonna say that the moon is a closer thing, I'm gonna look at you like you're a fucking moron that's fucking a number god somewhere. You fucking number god. I don't want to hear about a fucking number god. What physical proof do you have? If you can't name the physical proof, don't expect me to believe shit. If you're not smart enough to know what physical proof was used, you ain't smart. You're stupid. Because you believe in a religion. It's a religion. It's not the religion of, well, I don't have a religion. No. It's the religion of a numbers god. Where, just because you rearrange numbers, you think cat is a new letter to the alphabet. That's the fucking insanity. You're talking about a system versus numbers. Numbers end. The only true numbers there are. In a +1 system, you have to start out with 0. So therefore, if you say, well, you can't count 0 to start with, you're insane. Because in order to get 1 in a +1 system, you gotta start with 0, you idiot. Then you go to 2, then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And if you think cat is a new letter, you can call 10 a new number. No. It's insanity when you say that the system is a new number and you don't realize that you're worshiping a number god. A number god claims that, no, there's a new number. There's a new number. No, you're talking about a fucking system. And if you're so in debt to a system of insanity, I'll ask the question, how many numbers are there? And if you give me the system answer and say, well, numbers are unlimited, you're talking cat is a new letter to the alphabet. And I'm going to look at you like you're fucking insane. Because there is no other way you can do it. You want to pretend things. If the first place you go after I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and recount those, say 5 again, and do it 5 times and you see 25 and I only have 5 fingers on my hand and I've counted 5 times, You're in imagination land. You're in pretend and make 'em up shit land. You're not in reality. Because in reality, no matter how many times I count my fingers, I'm only going to have 5 appendages on there. And I might have some dipshit say, well, your thumb is not a finger. It's an appendage. Let me rephrase that. If I count the 5 appendages on my hand, 5 different times, 6 different times, 7 different times, 25 different times, and you see different numbers other than the 5 fingers there, you got mental issues. You've been programmed like a damn robot. And go to loop for those individuals who worked with BASIC. Or if-then loop, whatever you want to call it. Where you have to pretend. Where you're in imagination land. Where you're making up things, i.e. banker math. Where you have to enter a state of pretend to start with. Now, these individuals who go to Carbon 14 will tell us this and will tell us that. I want to see this 1,000-year-old book. I want to see the chapter, the verse, and everything else that this 1,000-year-old book shows. If not, you're pulling shit out of your fucking ass. It's as simple as that. If you can't show the proof of claim, it's not up to me to disprove the shit you can't prove. It's up to you to prove that you have this. It's up to you to prove that this is a 1,000-year-old book that you've looked through in order to compare that there with this here. Other than that, it's pretend make 'em up shit. And someone in pretend make 'em up shit land, if you can't prove what you think is real to start with, I don't have to disprove your pretend shit that you want to pretend is real that you haven't been able to prove is real. If you can't prove it's real, it ain't fucking real. If you ain't smart enough to prove it's real, you're nothing more than a Zion. Z-I-O-N. Scientist. Not scientist. S-C-I-O-N. You're a Zionist. You are a number fucker. And that's all it is. It's a fucking game. You want to try to convince me you found this molecule that's a million years old, but then again you're using carbon 14, and you don't know that from your ass to a hole in the ground. You want to act that way? I call shit shit. I don't call shit rose. I call shit shit. Because shit is shit. Shit ain't fucking rose. That shit ain't roses. It's shit. Until they can produce this manual, along with all the other books that go along with it, along with the... Remember, English is only 200 years old at least. Or at least that's what they tell us. So... if you don't have this diagram of these other elements and so forth leading up to the carbon 14 and showing all these other elements too that they look like 1,000 years ago, you ain't got shit. And I don't have to disprove shit you can't prove. Bye.